Hey everyone. So I felt into it over the weekend, and it seems like these rebel reports are something that want to come out for now after my meditations, after my daily meditations on weekdays. So, I was having a little bit of a push pull in my system around, I'm not someone who likes to commit to daily things. I like to go with the flow and not feel, I guess, oppressed by the own rules that I create for myself. And so it was reflected back to me that I can make whatever rules I want, and that rule can be that I will be doing these rebel reports moving forward until it doesn't feel good anymore. And chances are I'll be doing them on the weekdays because I have a very particular routine versus the weekend. I like to keep myself open. So today is Rebel Report number 2. We're just going to go for it. Just sat down for my meditation. And what feels really, really true and important to talk about today is finding your voice. So this has been really present for me right now. I've looked back at my journey of self-expression and stepping into self-expression. And what I've found is that as a child, it was very easy for me to emote through dancing and through singing. And as I started to get older, both of those things shut down. So when I was a kid, I used to lip sync a lot, and even just like sing like Madonna and Mariah Carey and Paula Abdul and all these fun peeps. And I used to dance, like actually train to be a ballerina, right? And then at around 10, a lot of that got shut down. I stopped dancing, and I ended up finding my love for dance again in a very dysfunctional, unhealthy environment, which is that of clubs and raves, where I still felt like I had to be in a certain environment, be drinking under the influence in order to be able to really tap into that like looseness and connection, to be able to dance and feel expressed. It was very hard for me to do that just like at 11 a.m. in the morning, sober, right? And so over time, as I got into S Factor, which is a sensual movement practice that I started off as a student and then became a teacher of, as well as starting to go to Five Rhythms and ecstatic dance, which is like a free-form dance class, for those of you who might not know it. At first it was scary. It was so scary, especially like something like Five Rhythms and ecstatic dance, because it's very much like being at a club. I mean, no one's telling you really what to do. You're not learning anything in particular there's no leader. It's just you, yourself, and your body. And I freaked out. I remember being like, I can't do this at 11 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of other people. And so, but over time, I devoted myself to it, and I started going, and it became the most beautiful, cathartic, spiritual practice. It became my prayer. It became the way in which I connected most deeply to myself and to the divine. And of course, through that, I birthed Embody, which I'm now training women in as well to teach. And so that's been a really beautiful journey for me in the dance side of things. But singing has been shut down since I was a kid. And I had this story like, well, I'm tone deaf and I just don't have a good voice, and singing is just like not my thing. It's not going to be my thing. I don't need it to be my thing. And over the last few years, I started to feel into this, and I knew that singing was going to be the final frontier. It was going to be my big edge around self-expression and finding another way to emote my truth and my emotions and connect to a deeper part of me. And so, but it was always like, oh, I'm not going to deal with this now, because I think I was still on my dance journey. So it was really important for me to just be in that world. And now that I'm training other people, and I feel really pretty secure about dancing anywhere at any time, pretty sure I danced in the middle of a grocery store a few weeks ago in Miami. I think we were dancing. like I just don't that's not anymore this, there's no blockage there around that. But I also honor where you might be, and that's what I'm doing, right? Like I coach and I train and I teach the women who still feel like this is their journey, this is where they want to open up into. And yet for me, where I am is that for me, it's singing right now. Singing is my edge. Really emoting through the sound of my voice. I have no problem talking, right? So I've been able to do that for quite a while. But the singing piece feels really, really, really edgy for myself. So Saturday night, I sat down with my roommate, who's a beautiful singer, and with her encouragement, she helped me start to tap into my voice and my singing voice in particular. And I instantly started crying. It was really fascinating to see and to experience. The moment, there was like a point where I was like, sort of like, fake singing, like you're singing, but it's not really, you're like, like singing along, like it's not really your voice. And she was like, no, you got to tap into your truth. Like it can sound messier. Like, don't worry about fucking it up, but you need to like, let it be just your truth on your exhale. And there was this one moment where I tapped into it and I really, really felt it. And instantly tears started coming out. And the reason why this was so powerful, other than for me, is it just reminded me of what it felt like when I first also just like clicked into the dancing piece, when I had a moment of truth in my own body as I emoted through dancing. And it reminded me again, because sometimes, when we get into like just the motions of teaching, I've been doing this for a while now, so it's no longer my edge to do the dancing. But it's such a great reminder that this is still like when I'm training people, when I'm coaching people, this is the feeling when they really just click into their truth. And there's nothing like it. You feel like you connect to a part of yourself that's connected to something bigger, that is more beautiful, more inspiring, and more gratifying than anything else in the world. Probably more than having $1 million in your bank account. At least that's my point of view. So what I started doing, since this is my edge, is I've decided for the month of July that I'm actually going to be singing. I tried to keep it playful, so I'm going to be singing to all my favorite 90s and 80s love tunes as a way to start to really practice hearing my own voice, and I think that there is going to be a place for you that is your edge. So it might be in dancing, it might be in singing, and it might be in speaking, or it might be in another form of expression, painting, hula hooping, right? There's so many options. So really what I'm coming with you today is the message of where is your expression stuck and how can you start to open it up in baby steps? Because that's where we want to start, baby steps. So right now, I'm not ready to sing on my own. I'm not ready to sing like the deepest, most serious, truthful song of my life. But I am willing to sing some Paula Abdul and some Mariah Carey. And so that's my commitment to myself, is daily I will sing one song, doesn't matter when, what time of the day. At this point, I will do it on my own. I won't be doing it on video, but just to start to open up this channel of expression for me, this new way of showing up in the world and connecting to the divine. And ultimately, for those of us women who want to connect to our feminine essence, and we want to connect to our feminine essence because we want to be more connected to flow, and we want to attract the right relationships and the right, and money and abundance in our lives. We have to be a walking prayer. We have to be a walking connection to the divine. And that is through dance, through song, through painting, through different ways of expression. So if you're feeling like you're not being able to connect to this part of yourself, just notice what was your favorite way to express yourself when you were a child, and how can you bring that back today? Okay, let me know how it goes.